One thing that I've said on my channel for a while now is that one of the most complimented lines is the Gucci Guilty line. Of course, I prefer the original Gucci Guilty. There's also Gucci Guilty Black, which gets a ton of compliments. Here we have the Eau de Parfum, which I picked up some time ago. There's also the Parfum version, there's the Elixir version, there's the Absolute version, there's the Oud version. I have them all. I purchased them all with my own money. Here we have Fougere Pink Pepper, which is Dossier's alternative to this fragrance by Gucci. And you better believe I did a side-by-side. I'm going to give you the honest truth in just a second, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Fougere Pink Pepper by Dossier, I'm going to compare it to the original. I'll let you know how close I think the Dossier gets. I'll let you know the seasons, occasions, all that good stuff. But before I dive into the review, I just want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and also give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So the thing with Dossier is they create their own version or interpretation of more popular designer or niche fragrances. They use a process called reverse engineering via GCMS, which is gas chromatography mass spectrometry, very sophisticated machinery, spits out the formula, it tells them what ingredients to use, blah, 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 and then they create their interpretation of it. So more often than not, as long as there's access to those raw materials, they can get very close to the original. They cut out the middleman, sell directly to consumer, and you save a ton of money, especially considering the minimalistic style of their presentation. It's cardboard, but the bottle is actually really nice. It looks like I was going to say invisible stem, but no, it's quite visible. You can see it. Magnetic cap. You can pick this one up from the cap. The distribution on the atomizer is also nice and wide. It's not pressurized, but it does give you a nice distribution. Here we have Fougere Pink Pepper, which is their interpretation of Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum. I did this side by side. I'm smelling it in the air. I already have my opinions formulated on this one, but I'm going to tell you what I think in just a little bit. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So now the first thing that I can tell you about this one is as soon as you spray it on, it's going to remind you immediately of Gucci Guilty. Now I think unless you've owned all of the Guilty fragrances, you're not going to know right away which one it is. Is it the Eau de Toilette? Is it the Eau de Parfum? Is it the Pure Parfum? Is it Gucci Guilty Black? Is it the Intense? Is it Is it this? Is it that? So it takes a certain connoisseur, if you will, to be able to differentiate which is which, because there are subtle nuances in the DNA. So I did my side-by-side and I purchased this bottle some time ago with my own money. And what I can say is that the original Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum opens up a bit more rosy. Okay, it opens up a bit richer, a bit more rosy. And looking at the Dossier here, it says pink pepper, lemon, neroli, orange blossom, lavender, geranium. So it's a combination of the pink pepper and the geranium that gives it a bit of a rosy vibe. In the Gucci Guilty variant, we're seeing that rosy vibe is a bit more strong. So it opens up very rich, very spicy, very rosy. But you give it about 5 minutes, because I sprayed this maybe 7 or 8 minutes ago. You give it about 5 minutes, they're going to dry down to the same thing. Honest to God, they will. Now, I think the only other time when you're going to notice a difference between the two is when you're actually playing around with the longevity of it. If you wear this one, and let me take out the card that's in here, or I suppose I did take it out, I probably left it off to the side there. The original Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum is going to give you about 7 to 8 hours. The Dossier is going to give you about 6 to 7 hours. I think that's negligible. I think, 1 to 2 hours, you can always reapply, especially given the price discrepancy between these two. I don't think you're breaking the bank by purchasing a Dossier fragrance. And even if you do about 5 or 6 sprays in the morning, right around lunchtime, you're like, you know what, let me reapply. I don't think it's going to make a difference, right? You're not going to waste any money. You're not losing any money. I think this is a great alternative to Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum. So what does it smell like? It smells a little fresh, not an explosion of citrus by any means. It's a little fresh. It does have this rosy quality about it. It is a huge compliment getter. And of course, that's something that can be said about the Dossier alternative as well. In the dried down amber patchouli cedarwood, you're going to get more cedarwood than anything else. Patchouli, it's not overly earthy, it's not soily, it's not dirty, it's not anything like that. And as far as the amber is concerned, it's not resinous or balsamic or anything like that. It's certainly not sweet. The strongest ingredients you're probably going to get are the orange blossom, the lavender, and the pink pepper, hence that rosy vibe that you're going to get from this one. As I mentioned, I have every single Gucci fragrance, especially, with the exception of, I meant to say, I think there was like a collector's edition that was like all studded out. That's the only one I never got around to purchasing. But Fougere Pink Pepper is a fantastic alternative. Let me know what you think if you've tried it. Drop your comment down below. And of course, let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, well, it's not unique, it's a clone, but it's a darn good clone. It comes very close to the original, and I say that having had experience with both, having worn both, and having juxtaposed the two. Longevity on this one is a solid, I want to say 6 to 7 hours on skin. Projection on this one, very good for the first hour of application. It radiated a little bit beyond an arm's length on account of the citrus, the neroli, and whatnot. Very short-lived. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5, a skin scent right around hour 6 or 7. Versatility. Dress it up or dress it down. Great for any time of the year. Masculine leaning. And I think this one might appeal to a younger demographic. I think some of the other Gucci fragrances like Gucci Guilty Oud or Gucci Guilty Absolute, those might appeal to a bit of an older demographic, even though those are kind of hard to find nowadays. Presentation on this one, very simple. I don't think it does anything earth-shattering, but it keeps the cost low, as I mentioned earlier on in this review and in previous Dossier reviews that I've done. My final verdict on this fragrance is, if you're looking for a really close reverse-engineered version of Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum, please try Fougere Pink Pepper by Dossier. That's it. Very simple. Thank you for watching. What's your experience with Dossier? Drop your comment down below. Make suggestions for future reviews also through your comments down below. It would really mean a lot to me. Also, if you took anything of value from today's review, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.